1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
You're lovely. You know, the woman is stupid to say, and I sort of found out a bit more what was in the background. I don't remember what it was now, and she got past that. And as I say, we laughed about that in times to come, about that conversation. But she really put me on the spot, and I thought, how the heck do I answer a question like that? But I think I got away with it, so to speak, without having to lie, as it happens. But my point would be, if actually she had a modern-day Brazilian bum, as you put it, and was a bit sizable in that direction, I don't believe I could have said that. You could see it. Obviously, it upset her, another woman saying that. And so I would have had to say, no, you're really nice and not a problem in that area. And I would have told a proactive lie. But sometimes, as I say, discretion is the better part of value for the person, not just for oneself. You have to think of somebody's peace of mind or whatever, how they might react to that. So yeah, that was actually a very true story, one which I've often thought of, or not often, but when you're in a difficult situation, what do? And then you've got to you wing it, you go with what you do and do your best. So yeah, so I forget where you were on that now. So do you feel you have a side of yourself that you really don't reveal to other people?
Yeah, I do actually. I do have a side of myself that I don't reveal to people, and I think I've kind of touched on it, probably in previous episodes. Now I can't remember precisely when or where, but I like to, for instance, I like to assess people's kind of like their judgment kind of way. I don't know if that makes sense. So for instance, if somebody is very reserved in their way of life, I wouldn't tell them, all right, so I'm going to bring my religion into it. So as a Jehovah's Witness, there are people that were brought up Jehovah's Witnesses and they've never left. On my part, I've left, and I've lived a kind of life that, wouldn't considered worthy of someone being of that or practicing that faith. And as such, I tend not to, I don't hide my past, but I tend not to bring it up on first meet, if that makes sense. I meet somebody for the first time, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I've lived this sort of life before where, I've perhaps cohabited with a female that wasn't married to. I wouldn't say it because I'd respect their conscience. I would think, well, that person would feel hurt in a way, or feel cheated. Oh, so you can just go away and do that and then come back, and God would accept you. Not everybody is very forgiving, if that makes sense. And so I tend to, I let that person get to know me.
The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything Custis. And fund the aim of everything Custis.
As a person first, like there's a line in one of Michael Jackson's songs that says, before you judge me, try hard to love me. And I think it's Have You Seen My Childhood? I think that's the title of that song. And so I try to get people to know me first, know who I am, know that whatever I might have done in the past, it's not me now, sort of say. And so I let people know me, and I find out that when I do that, people are more accepting. They think, well, he's a nice guy. You know, he must have made mistakes in the past, rather than just putting it out there and shocking them and think, "Whoa." So you know, and so yeah, in that way, I do tend to be a bit conserved or reserved, if you.
Yeah, you hold back a bit.
Yeah, I hold back a little. I do hold back a little bit. But then not avoiding the question where you said, do you I think I like to let people know. I like to let people know who I am. And and I've heard people say in their own words, he doesn't live in the real world, does he? You know.
Yeah, I didn't mean that when I said that about you, though. No, I didn't really say that.
I've had people say, you know, he doesn't live in the real world, does he? And I know why they say that, because I'm always smiling. I'm always cheerful. I do have problems. I do have things that weigh me down. But whenever people see me, they say, "Oh, you know, I always like the fact that he's always smiling." That's not very true. I'm not always smiling, but I tend to come across that way. So, in a way,
Yeah.
that may be what Dr. Gregory House is referring to. That you put up,
Yeah.
that, you know, there's
Yeah.
a face that you sort of show people, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't like showing people my my trouble face, or not trouble face, but worry face, you know, where
Yeah.
oh, I'm thinking this or I'm thinking that. Now I don't know how I do it, but I know that I've sort of mastered that art of, you know, just being that cheerful
Well,
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, almost not being cynical to say, almost mastered the art of deception, because I'm not saying that in your
Well,
case,
yeah,
but
yeah.
a more serious thing, that
Yeah.
what you really described is how we kind of live to a bit of an image of ourselves when we're with other people. I mean, somebody said, I don't know who it was, but the only time we are truly ourselves is when we're asleep. And when you think about it, there's some but maybe when if we're on our own at home one for a morning or something like that, then we're not trying to create that impression, however subconscious that normally is. We're not trying to I don't mean impress people, but we do have this sort of acting role now. And when we're around other people, of course, we're not going to be always saying what we're thinking. We couldn't really have a world, could we, whereby we always blurt out everything that goes through our heads. I mean, there is a famous psychiatrist come psychotherapist called Carl Jung, and he used to speak a lot of the shadow self. That we know there's the public and the private self. He talked about the shadow self, where we keep things locked away, which are almost
Of our gang will make the show go with a bang, and fund the aim of everything cast us, and fund